Alright, a short initial review of Battlefield 6. Might as well start with the maps, since Battlefield, more than a lot of other shooters, lives and dies by the maps. The maps are kind of important. It's in the name, the battlefields you fight on are kind of an integral part of the experience. I actually don't have a huge problem with the maps themselves. People are bitching that they're too small, but as a breakthrough enjoyer myself, who enjoys smaller subsections of the map at a time anyway, I don't really mind. As many have pointed out, they're designed to minimize downtime on the action. And since the action is why I'm playing, this just isn't an issue in my book. Now, on that note, however, I am not a breakthrough enjoyer in this game specifically. The maps are not designed for it. The game has a problem in particular with the first sector, since these utilize the play space of the backmost conquest flags, which aren't really designed with having to force a meat grinder assault from the HQ spawn next door in mind. They are usually too narrow and have very exposed approaches that make it difficult to get to the point as the attacking team due to the low time to kill. The worst offenders are Liberation Peak, Mirac Valley, and Manhattan Bridge in that regard. And Liberation Peak also has an abysmal final sector that only brain-damaged defenders could possibly lose. Sobek's first sector is iffy as well, though still not as bad. Nevertheless, that's 3 or 4 out of the 6 breakthrough maps that are usually an auto loss for the attackers unless they use highly coordinated smoke spam. But this isn't competitive play. These are public match-made lobbies. You know that isn't going to happen most of the time, which means a lot of breakthrough matches are spent spawn camping the first sector. It's not fun. And without physical changes to the map layouts, I don't see how it could ever be so. I haven't played Rush, and I don't really have any interest. If the maps can't even handle breakthrough, then they definitely aren't made for Rush. So I can safely presume Rush is trash. Again. Escalation, however, is a great game mode because it can be easily slapped onto conquest maps. It concentrates the action over time, making the last round really feel climactic, as opposed to Conquest, which honestly just trudges along and is rarely, super exciting. Comebacks are regularly possible, especially since the ever-decreasing number of flags means you can concentrate on just a couple of flags to retake the initiative. The climax, which is effectively 64-player domination with vehicles, since half the map is taken out of play, is a more epic fight, naturally, than almost any conquest fight, and more grandiose than Breakthrough due to the preponderance of vehicles. It's now my favorite game mode in this game. Now, weapon balance is kind of fucked, but other than Battlefield 1, I don't think any Battlefield game has actually had fantastic weapon balance. In this case, ARs, carbines, and LMGs are suffering from spread being bugged and often being too great or incorrectly calculated, like the game still giving you moving spread values when standing still and such. The result is that guns are bad at mid-range, so close-range weaponry reigns supreme. Shotguns, SMGs, and the M4 rule the day. It is a common sight for people to outshoot assault rifles with the MP5 because it doesn't suffer the same spread penalties. This shit needs to get fixed, or the de facto weapon variety will be crippled. I am stubbornly carrying on using assault rifles despite this, but you can't expect everyone to put themselves through that. Okay? Fix it. Apparently they are going to fix it with the Season 1 patch. We will see. Hopefully that's true. Now, I don't really see the classes as highly imbalanced as some people do. Everyone goes around saying support is the best, but I rarely see an articulated reason beyond instant healing and infinite ammo. And to be clear, I'm not saying that isn't a major perk. But the other classes do have things that warrant their use in lieu of those perks. I've spent most of my time as a recon, and most of that using assault rifles and battle rifles. Not sniping, because recon is the class that keeps the enemy on the minimap. So if you combine that with keeping yourself off the minimap with suppressed weaponry, that lets you get the drop on people more than you do with other classes. It also gets C4 and claymores for setting cheeky traps. The recon drone is basically a minute of wall hacks for your entire team, and the laser designator makes life hell for enemy vehicles. I think if you look at all that and still just say, nah, support is still better, it says more that your playstyle suits support better rather than the class itself is so obviously a better choice. You obviously pick engineer for crewing or fighting vehicles, so that's still an obvious pick in many, many situations, especially in Conquest. And assault is also useful, even if its offerings are the weakest. The spawn beacon, assault ladder, and grenade launcher are all obviously useful, I should think. What drags assault down is that their adrenaline injector is fucking useless, hardly worth putting your gun away to use, and the weapon sling halves your ammo, making it nigh impossible to go on an extended flank or streak with it. You're better off equipping another gadget and using a shotgun primary with slugs because you get a full ammo load than you are trying to use an AR and a shotgun with half ammo each, for instance. Not to brag, but I was ahead of the curve in hating challenges. I've always hated challenges, all the way back to Battlefield 3. I don't want to have to do a bunch of meme shit to unlock something. I just want to use it. I'm fine with grinding nonsense for cosmetics, but not weapons and gadgets. They just limit your toolbox. I only just unlocked the spawn beacon, because you have to get 30 kills while your useless 5-second adrenaline injector is active. I still don't have the Spec Ops perk set for recon, despite that being the way I play the class, because you have to do a bunch of long-range sniping to unlock it that I don't want to do. Never mind all the ones that require you to get road kills, or a kill with every type of weapon in one match, or some ridiculous number of a specific kind of kill in one match, or whatever. It's obnoxious. I should be able to unlock all the weapons and gadgets by just playing the class. I am not jumping through these buggy fucking hoops to get it. I'm just disappointed it took 14 years for people to finally join me in realizing how stupid a design decision these are. Finally, fuck EA for their bugged ass fucking launcher that didn't let you play the game on launch. But also thank God for our base director Vince just refunded Zampella for all those apology boosters, even after I switched to the Steam version, which he told everyone to go get instead. I am so glad that he is in charge of this right now. We can only hope he can stave off the Saudi AI slop for as long as possible. Although don't get your hopes too high about that.